What if the one person you've been trying so hard to impress doesn't even exist? What if everything you've been chasing was never meant for you to catch? Today's story will change the way you see yourself forever. There was a young man named Leo. Leo wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, but he had a good heart. Every morning he would wake up and look at himself in the mirror, but he never liked what he saw. "I'm not good enough," he would whisper. Leo spent his whole life trying to make others happy. He changed his clothes to fit in. He changed his words to sound smarter. He even changed his dreams just so people would accept him. At school, he became whoever his friends wanted him to be. At work, he said yes to everything, even when his heart screamed no. At home, he hid his true feelings behind a smile. And every night, Leo felt more and more empty. One day, Leo's boss praised another coworker in front of everyone. Leo felt invisible. He worked twice as hard the next week, staying late, skipping meals, just to hear his name called. But it never came. His friends made plans without him. Leo saw the pictures online. He wasn't invited. So he tried harder. He bought them gifts. He laughed louder at their jokes. He became smaller just to fit into their lives. Still, he felt alone. Leo's mother noticed the sadness in his eyes. "Why do you look so tired, my son?" she asked. "I'm fine, Mom," he lied, because even with her, he couldn't be honest. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years, and Leo kept running after approval that never stayed, chasing love that always slipped away. One evening, Leo sat by a quiet lake, watching the sun disappear. Tears rolled down his face. "Why am I never enough?" he cried into the silence. And the silence had no answer. The next morning, something strange happened. Leo woke up and walked to his mirror like always, but this time, the mirror was covered with a cloth. He didn't remember covering it. Curious, he pulled the cloth away, but instead of seeing his reflection, he saw words written across the glass in dust. "Who are you when no one is watching?" Leo stepped back. His heart pounded. He looked around. No one was there. That question echoed in his mind all day, at work, at lunch, even in his sleep. Who are you when no one is watching? Leo realized something painful. He didn't know the answer. He had spent so many years being what others wanted that he forgot who he was. That night, Leo sat in front of the mirror again. He stared deeply into his own eyes, and for the first time in years, he asked himself, "What do I want? What do I believe? What makes me happy?" The answers didn't come quickly, but slowly, like sunrise after a long night, he began to remember. He remembered the boy who loved to draw, even though his father said it was useless. He remembered the dreams he buried because they weren't realistic. He remembered the voice inside him that he had silenced for so long. The next day, Leo made a decision. He stopped saying yes when he meant no. He stopped pretending to laugh at jokes that weren't funny. He stopped shrinking himself to make others comfortable. At work, when his boss asked him to stay late again, Leo said, "I can't today. I have something important to do." His boss looked surprised, but Leo didn't apologize. That evening, he went home and pulled out his old sketchbook. His hands were shaking. It had been years, but he started drawing again. It felt like breathing after being underwater. His friends called. "Hey, we're going out. You coming?" Leo paused. He wanted to say yes, but he looked at his drawing and he said, "Not tonight, but thank you." They laughed. "You've changed, man." And Leo smiled. "Yeah, I have." Weeks passed. Some friends left, some stayed. But Leo noticed something incredible. The ones who stayed loved him for who he was, not who he pretended to be. And the ones who left, they were never really his friends. Leo learned something that changed his life forever. The people who truly love you don't need you to be perfect.
They don't need you to change. They don't need you to earn their approval every single day. The right people will see your heart, and that will be enough. But here's the deeper truth. You cannot find yourself in the eyes of others. You can chase approval your whole life and still feel empty, because approval is like water in your hands. The tighter you hold it, the faster it slips away. Real peace comes when you stop performing for the world and start living for your truth. So let me ask you, who are you when no one is watching? What have you been hiding because you're afraid of rejection? What dreams have you buried to make others comfortable? Today, I want you to make a promise, not to me, not to anyone else. Make a promise to yourself. Stop chasing people who don't see your worth. Stop changing who you are for temporary acceptance. Stop living someone else's life. The mirror doesn't lie, and deep down, you know the truth. You are enough. You always have been. And the moment you believe that, everything changes. If this story touched your heart, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and subscribe for more powerful, life-changing stories that will help you grow, heal, and become the person you were always meant to be. Remember, the world doesn't need another copy, it needs the real you. See you in the next story.